Hello and welcome to another episode of Mostly Ridiculous D&D. And we are on episode 5 of the Mighty Nein animated series. And tonight, oh my god, this episode, there's a lot going on. We'll be going over. This episode has given us a lot into Caleb, a lot into uh, it's more focused on Caleb, but it has a lot of information given to us in this episode. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a nice holiday, and New Year is just a couple days away. And let me know how you guys are enjoying your time off from work, if any time off, and how you guys are celebrating your New Year's Eve. Currently, I'm actually, as I'm recording, I'm making some tonkotsu ramen, which is my first time making my own tonkotsu ramen. So it will be interesting how that turns out. I have made chashu by myself before many times, and it's come out pretty good. And I had just pork bones and stuff that I was like, I'll buy it because I mean to make it later. And then it's been so long since I bought them, and it was just sitting for a while that I was told, oh, you know what, you should use that before it goes bad. So I'm like, okay. So I just kind of jumped right into making it, and hopefully it turns out good. But let me know if you're trying anything new like me, or if you're taking any risks in food like I am, because I'm not much of a cook, and this takes forever. Like, I think the broth alone takes about 10 hours at least to cook properly. And then I also am making like the tare and the sauces from scratch. So yeah, that's what I'm doing while I'm watching some Critical Role. And so yeah, let's get into this episode. It's actually pretty cool. I like it. It's not bad all of an episode. I don't think any of the episodes have been bad so far. There's been some annoying parts, some character things that I've called out that I'm like, I don't really like this character for this, or this character is like kind of pissing me off at the moment, or it's just kind of like, I don't know why this guy's doing this. But um yeah, let's get into it. This, as we start off every episode, synopsis. The group is faced with a foe that nearly takes them all out until Bo disarms and incapacitates the perp and finding answers. Meanwhile, Ford is dying from poison, and we discover Caleb's secret past. Whoa, so many things happening in this episode. So many things. Yeah. First, like, it was just the fight overall, starting with the 1v5, 6 of them. And the Volstrucker, I'm still not sure on the name at this moment. But Volstrucker is just actually like almost manhandling everyone. And also is very, very annoying. The attitude, the dialogue, I think she's meant to be very annoying. She's a bad guy, and it did its job. Like, this character made me very mad. I hated this character. Still not as mad as I am on Trenikathon, and definitely still mad. Not as mad as Essek. But so yeah, the Volstrucker, very annoying to me. I did not like it at all. Bow disabling was kind of funny and anticlimactic, but it needs to progress the story along, and it was also very satisfying as well, because I was just like tired of the character. I was just like, no, just I'm done with this, just end it. And Bo's just like does her what's it called? Bo does the stunning strike, I believe. What level do we think the characters are at this moment? Because are they level 1, or most of them level 1, while Bo's maybe level 2 or 3, because she seems more experienced fighting than the others? Are they all just all the same level? Like, where do you think they are level wise in the episode, in season 1? I don't know if they level up that quickly, or if they, by the end of the season, at least this season, that they're like, what, maybe reached by level 5, maybe level 3. I'm not sure. Maybe they started at level 3. It's hard to gauge a series where a character's level will be. But if you also would like to let me know and guess, make your own predictions, like, what level do you think they're all at right now? But yeah, so they capture the person, and then they start interrogating her. I don't think I get a name, at least yet. Maybe I missed it. but she's a Volstrucker. I think they're like those. They're just like secret Cobalt. What's it called? Underground assassins for Trent Ikithong and some of what is it like working with the Cobalt Soul. Byron? What's the guy's name from episode 1? But yeah, so they finally catch her because this one's been on their case for a while. Has been following Bo, but also ran into Caleb because at the end of the last episode, they have both said at the same time, like, they found me, which neither of them knew what the other one meant because they thought obviously that they were the ones being chased. But this is where we get more clear answers for this, where we cut. Well, the episode kind of starts with Caleb's past, which is kind of weird because it starts as the episode ends. If that makes sense, because I'll get to the end part later, but it says it starts with Caleb starting his backstory with the group, like telling them his backstory, which starts at the beginning of the episode, but he doesn't start telling them until the end of the episode. So it's kind of weird, but it's kind of okay how it's done. It's just a little confusing until the end. At least for me, it was. I don't know about you, but it was confusing for me because I thought it was just like a flashback story done, and then it was just Caleb telling them the story at the end, but at the beginning. Anyways, so yeah, some notes here I have is just Trent's test is cruel. I'm trying to think which one that is, which test, because he's done so many here. I don't even remember what test he's done. Oh yeah. He had okay. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself with that. Okay, so first, Trent finds Bren, who is Caleb. He finds Caleb when he's a child somehow. I'm not sure how he's going around and just finding people. Like, is it just he seemed to have known that Bren lived there and that he had some magical gifts, but it's not stated or clear as to how he did that. How did he know to come there, or how he knew about Bren at all? But Bren is a skilled little wizard, and he goes to help his dad and uncle or somebody else. I'm not sure who the other person was. Mend a fence, which he transmutes. Uh, was it? He transmutes some kind of. I don't remember if it was like tape or something else, but basically transmutes it into steel or some kind of metal to reinforce the fence. And then all of a sudden, Trent Icky Thong comes out of nowhere, like he does, and just like introduces himself and is like, "Hey, I want to take you here to this school and teach you magic. Yeah, there's nothing shady here." And he takes a notice of his transmutation skill there of the fence, and then he just kind of invites himself to their house. I think they invite. I'm not sure if they. I think he technically invites them himself into the house, and then he kind of has some documents for Caleb, aka Bren, to display his kind of gifts to kind of which activates the enrollment documents that light up if he can present or produce enough magic, which takes him a couple of tries to do, and then I guess it works out, and then he's accepted. I guess they don't know who, like they know who Trent is, but they don't know who he is. They don't know what he is, right? Because he's just an old man under, just a wolf under an old man's skin, if that makes sense. So they don't know that what a piece of shit this guy really is. And so I guess it makes sense that it's okay for them to like let the kid go and go to school with Ikathong being their teacher and all that stuff, which leads to the test, which is kind of weird. I think it was kind of cool because during the test, I was like, "Oh, this guy's an asshole. He's doing that same thing as like the having prisoners or some people that against their will in the classroom and like dissecting them in front of everyone." But at the end, it was like, oh no, he kind of undid everything and then let them go. So yeah, he was doing this test to reach him without setting off any traps. And one of participants or classmates was this Volstruck character that seems to have it in for Caleb because I think, yeah, Caleb was the one who third person to make it to Ikathong, and Ikathong just wanted to pass 3 students, and of course, Edwolf and Astrid were the other 2, but the third one was going to be this Volstruck character that they're interrogating. But Caleb kind of like sabotaged that and then made it there instead. And I think then this person had it in for him. But Caleb also proved to be very capable with his magic and infiltrating, and I guess, oh boy, infiltrating the Cobalt Souls library and then killing one of the professors or one of the library workers there. Yeah, that it really dived into Caleb's backstory in more detail, I think, than campaign gameplay did. There was nothing like this, I think, that Liam mentioned for his backstory for Caleb, that he did anything in particular. I think his more or less story was just that he entered a school, he had some gifts, learned some magic, and that he was brainwashed into thinking, or brainwashed or manipulated into killing or burning his parents' house down, and then that's why he ran away. But this one is like, oh no, there's more into it. There's like so much that Caleb does here than we initially thought. They really dive into Caleb's backstory here, and he does some really like questionable things. Let's be honest, because that's not something I would like as a student. I don't think I would be like, oh, hold on a second. I don't know if is this ethical, legal? Like, who else knows what we're doing here? If that, like, you know what I mean? Like, he just kind of goes along with it. And yeah. Something I heard, because I was watching this episode with a friend, and she said people were having an issue with the 3 Caleb, Astrid, and Airwolf's little like relationship, and a lot of backlash or some kind of like dislike for their I don't understand why people have an issue with that. That's been established since the game as well, and there's nothing even that is shown. There was like the hug on the bed. That's about it. So I don't understand people's problem with that. I think some people just need to like calm down and just relax. But yeah, that's just a little note for me I wanted to like say out loud, because that's kind of like crazy that you know that the relationship was there and they barely even showed anything about it, but people got upset about it. Anyways, so yeah, we get a little backstory of like one of the flashbacks for Caleb, and then we cut to the interrogation. Well, this is before the interrogation. I have a note here that says, yeah, they left the jail there, that they fought the person, then they incapacitated her and then tied her up and left to find this cottage or secluded house or some kind of abandoned building to do it. And I'm wondering, if did they know this house was there? That's just kind of my understanding. Did they know that this house was here, or they were just going until they found a place that looked, private? But yeah, so as they left the frog's head with a note. I thought it was funny, and it was a funny note. I can't believe I didn't write down what the note said. And then they went and found the secluded house, and then also there was a little note, a joke about long rests with Ford because he got in the fight, he got poisoned. Support says, I'll just sleep it off. A remark to like a long rest, that if you sleep 8 hours, whatever issues you have will just disappear, which is kind of funny. That's just a note I put down here as a funny little note. And then for the interrogation, nothing seems to work. Bo wants to do the bad cop, good cop routine, and Caleb agrees, I guess. And then he turns out to be the bad cop because he just because nothing works on Bo. Like the Volstrucker just doesn't give her anything. So Caleb kind of knows how to torture. Well, he knows how to torture, having learned from the best. So he heats the metal around the Volstrucker that they have incapacitated with or tied up with. So, and it just starts burning. And I thought that's a cool use of effect for like heat metal. That was very interesting. I liked it. And of course, it hurt a lot, but there was also a lot of back and forth in Zemnian speak going on, and Bo's just confused and trying to find like what is going on, like trying to get Caleb to tell her, and then the Volstruckers like kill her, and they can escape here and all this stuff, and so then Bo kind of gets annoying because kind of understandably, but kind of like no, chill, okay, chill, because um yeah, you don't know the guy, but he hasn't attacked you or done anything to you. So like, don't make any accusations. Don't do this kind of like attitude. No wonder you failed your test and mission because you were too hot headed. And so she was getting annoyed. Caleb, presuming that she worked with this Volstrucker and that, you know, he was gonna do something to her. And so there was like a little back and forth. I don't remember if she attacked him now. The I just my notes just says chill, Bo. So then we have just like a notes here. My notes are really weird. I don't know why I wrote them this way. They're all over the place. I don't. I need to do better note taking. I need to learn from Marisha Rafe how to take notes. So then I think it cuts back to Trent and Bren, where he does something I don't think we've ever seen, even in the game, even in campaign 2, like the gameplay. Like I don't think it was ever mentioned or something like that or anything. Like it was just disgusting. I found it disgusting. Like, okay, Trent gets Bren into his office, and then he embeds him with residuum shards. And what is that supposed to do? Is that just supposed to amplify his abilities, magic, power? What? But I don't understand. Like I don't know what that's actually supposed to do, but it looked disgusting. It was just weird. And I was kind of like off put. I was off put by how it looked. So I guess the animation did its job because like the reaction from me it got was probably what they wanted. And then we cut back to Jester and Molly. They were collecting some flowers to cure Ford's poison that the Knot has told them to collect because she is what's it called? A poison or chemical specialist. So yeah, they were trying to collect those, and they had a little conversation with about the other guys and everything. And then we cut back to again another flashback with Bren and Astrid. Oh yeah, this is the part. So I jumped the gun earlier. So this is the part where Astrid and Bren infiltrate the Cobalt Soul library and Caleb caused the caretaker of the place to explode his face. He exploded a dude's face. Who does that? That's insane. I guess yeah, it makes I mean obviously Caleb like snapped out of the bullshit that he was involved in and ran away or went into hiding or whatever it was. But it's kind of crazy that some of the stuff he did for the school, for the kingdom is insane. He just explodes a dude's face. It's insane. And then there's the what's it called? Caleb takes the Volstrucker to the forest and kind of freezes the party in place on for I think it's supposed to be a minute long thing. It just lasts a minute, but for some reason it lasted longer in the episode because the length of time they walked was longer than just a minute in the forest because Caleb led the Volstrucker to a tree where he used this was cool. He did the giant cat paw that Caleb and Liam in campaign 2 usually used it, which I like. That was cool. And it was like a giant stone paw, and it just goes and grabs the Volstrucker and pins her to the tree where Caleb proceeds to set on fire and then burn her alive. Like, goddamn, dude, like, chill. And another flashback during that is when Caleb and Estrid and Airwolf are told by Icky Thong that there's a coup or something, or uh, there's a group of people from his old village that are like against the kingdom and have some kind of like have betrayed and need to be taken care of. And So he tasks Bren and the three of them to take care of it. And so, yeah, he goes to his parents' house, I guess. So I guess he's told that his parents are the leaders or are on the list of these people that need to be taken care of. So it's a different type of manipulation. But it's not how the campaign gameplay backstory was, how it was initially done or how it was. Because initially Bren did not kill his parents. He was he was like under like a spell or illusion that who he killed was like a separate group of people. And then in the act of his parents being burned, the illusion faded and he saw that he was burning his parents. So he didn't know he was doing that to his parents. But here in the series, in the animated series, he went and did it on purpose, reluctantly, I guess, but he still did it. Like he still chose to do it. Whereas in the game, he didn't choose to do it. He was tricked into doing it. So that's the main difference between the backstory for Caleb there, and a bunch of the stuff that's happened that we didn't know that that they added into the animated series that wasn't in or delved into in the game. So yeah, and then Not finds everyone frozen, unfreezes, or yeah, it just tells them they're going to be unfrozen in like less than a minute or so, and then they all catch up to Caleb and see that he's already burnt the Volstrucker to a crisp, and they got no information essentially from any, because they barely did any interrogation, and now they're back to like square one. For some reason, oh yeah. So yeah, I did put in my notes that the backstory of burning his parents' house, it was not him being brainwashed and did it knowingly. Yeah. And that's kind of I think that was the biggest change of that story, is just that he chose to do it rather than was tricked into doing it without knowing. And what's crazy is he barred all the windows, and it's a callback to the beginning of the episode where he transmuted the fence to bars, or to metal bars or steel to hold the fence in place. So he did the same thing here to hold the windows and doors in place so that his parents couldn't run out and would stay stuck in the house, burning alive to death by their own son. Fucking morbid. That's gross and just makes me hate Ikithong even more. Honestly, I really hope that when they do fight him, that they just kill him, and that it's not just gonna come back to campaign 3 time where they're gonna be like chasing him, and you know how the live one shot that for anyone who's watched, that they had a rematch with, and he was like summoning this. Anyways, I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but yeah, hopefully it doesn't lead to that, because I just don't want this guy alive. This character just needs to die as well. And then we go back to Molly, and well, Molly, he has a reading for Ford. Was it for Ford? No, he's by himself. I think he's by himself. He's reading his tarot cards by himself, and he pulls. I think he's beside Ford here. Yeah. So he pulls the tarot card, and it's the Death card. I know. Maybe even if you watched that campaign, you may have missed it, or maybe you just didn't clock it. And if you're new to watching the animated series, a little bit of spoilers. This to me screams foreshadowing of his own death. I think he drew the death card for his own death, and because I don't see where else this death card would place, unless you could see like the death of the Volstrucker in the forest, pull the card, maybe that's what it's trying to refer to, but I feel like it's very hard foreshadowing for his own death. But that's one thing I noted. And Ford makes a recovery, but he's still feeling ill, and then everybody's like kind of like on Caleb because of what he did, and sits down and tells them the story, which is the flashbacks that we've seen throughout the episode. Which, yes, that's so. end of the episode starts with him telling them his backstory, which we see from the start of the episode and throughout the rest of the episode. I'm not sure how you feel about the way they did that, because like usually in series when somebody sets down and tells their story, it's just in chronological order, whatever. It's not like here's something at the beginning of the episode, and then something in the middle of the episode, and then he starts to tell at the end of the episode, but it goes. This was actually the whole thing that we've been listening to. So it's not. Yeah, I kind of like it that they did that this way. It's nice. I like this episode. There's a lot of Caleb and his side of things. There's also I think it was this episode. I didn't note it, but I think it was this episode where, if you remember in campaign 2, the line where Sam says, "He's my boy, I take care of him, or I protect him, not the other way around." She says the same thing here, and I thought that was pretty cool that they included that line. That was a memorable moment in line in the beginning of the series, and yeah, I like the inclusion here. And hopefully I'm not sure how because I'm not sure how they're going to do the rest of the campaign, because the seasons are very short. Was it like 8 episodes? 7, yes, 7 or 8 episodes. So they don't have too much time to put everything in. So they have to like actually do things this way where they can tell the story in the way everyone who's watched the game will understand, and anyone who hasn't they will be still good and entertaining for them. I'm okay with the way they're doing this, and I'm excited to see what the next episode does or says, like what the next episode is. And then when we're done this season, what the next season is going to be and how long that's going to take. But yeah, let me know if you guys, if you're liking this series, and what your opinion of the Mighty Nein animated series is, what you like, what you don't like. I've been vocal about things I don't like. There's not too many. Obviously, I hate Akithong. I hate Essek. Essek is a real piece of shit right now. Yes, I know. Don't crucify me if you're upset about that, but oh my god, he is a really bad boy right now. And I also hate Ford's old companion. What's his name? That I want dead more than Akithong, strangely enough. He's that much of a minor character that I don't even remember what his name is. But yeah, and that's the episode. Let's see what the next episode. We're on episode 6 next week. Yeah, next episode is 6. So I'm excited to get on the next episode. So come join me in the next episode, and I'll see you then. Is it Tuesday yet?